There's very few things in this world.
I kid you not. People are pouring baby oil on one another outside this courthouse. Baby oil having a very big play in the freak-offs we heard about. You have people saying it's not Rico, it's Frico.
Dog, bruh. Ain't no fucking way, bruh. Dog, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. This is a bad representation of our melanin skin. Shotty, what the fuck is you doing? What in the hell, bro? That's what I'm saying, bro. It's just like some of y'all people, like, y'all really need to check in to the hospital, gang. Y'all need to check in with somebody, cause some things in y'all brain ain't really adding up, bro. What the fuck?
I don't know what she gonna do, y'all.
This nigga like a pastor and you throwing it on, bro.
I do need to revisit the Black Fatigue video. I you know, maybe I was wrong. In a shocking turn of events that I don't think I'll the Black Fatigue video.
Hey. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not siding with, you know what I'm saying? It's always melanin forever. Melanin skin forever. But at the end of the day, bruh, as a fellow melanin skin brother, brown skin brother, our skin color, our race, bro, y'all niggas do be doing dumb shit. Like, damn. I'm not telling y'all to be, you know what I'm saying, like the Caucasians, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, damn, some of y'all be doing, like, bro, why are you doing that? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, represent the skin that you walking around in, like, way better than sometimes the way y'all do, you know what I'm saying?
I you know, maybe I was wrong. In a shocking turn of events that I don't think a lot of people saw coming today, Diddy found not guilty on damn near everything at this point. Only 2 of the counts stuck on his jacket, one being transportation to engage in prostitution of Cassie, and the other one in transportation to engage in a prostitution. This one was of a Jane Doe, but not on the 2 counts of trafficking and not on the racketeering conspiracy charge. Now, as I record right now, there has not been any sort of sentencing on the 2 transportation charges, but I will say that those are the lesser of the evils. Those only come with at max 10 years apiece, so 20 years, but at max he's not gonna face the max. It's quite unprecedented that Diddy basically beat a RICO case. He beat the feds, and he could get maybe some time served or, you know, some sort of bail, which we'll talk about in a minute, or he could walk out scot-free today. I will say to me that this is like extremely shocking.
That nigga free roaming, no GTA. Homie. That nigga free roaming, no GTA. Diddy is free roaming, no GTA. On me.
This channel, we haven't been following up on the Diddy case like we should have. After the initial baby oil stunt, I stepped a little bit away. But honestly, court cases are so convoluted, have so much evidence involved, and are intertwined with people's actual lives that every time I got a glimpse into the situation, honestly, it hurt my heart. Like, no joke. It hurt my heart to participate in these conversations. We saw the Cassie video. We knew he was a monster from past stories and things that were said about him in the hip-hop industry. This almost seemed like a slam dunk case, but to be honest with you, a lot of us are sitting here blindsided today. Now, I will say I erred on the side of caution because one thing and one thing only stood out to me. This verdict was close to a holiday, a major holiday. And I know what happens when cases come close to a major holiday. I saw it in the Tory Lanez trial versus the state where it was brushed.
Hey, Tory Lanez out? Hold on.
Up against the holiday, and people that were deliberating was like, you know what, been gone for long enough, kind of want to wrap this up fast and hurry. I don't want to be a part of this situation anymore, and it has to be. Plus, I get a 3-day weekend. I'm going home. Now, after settling that lawsuit, more lawsuits came out where there were allegations of sexual assault in the 90s, underage.
Bro, niggas be trying to get this nigga from, like, past situations. That's the crazy part. Like, damn, nigga. Like, 1991, cuz?
claims that were going on in the past. Diddy denied a bunch of these things, damn near all of these things. There were claims that he was grooming in 2024, early 2024, and all these cases and all these claims started to stack up against Diddy, and most of them had no substantial proof. But then in May 2024, that is when the Cassie video dropped. Which opened up Pandora's box for everyone to...
As a grown man, you should never let a woman get you to that point. I'm just saying, as a grown man, you should never let a woman get you to the point where you gotta put your hands on her, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, protect your energy. You know what I'm saying?
Believe everything that was said in the past and everyone else to come down the pipeline. So as lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit kept piling up and piling up and piling up, I mean, it just made Diddy look worse than anything we had ever seen before. Hearing about trauma is one thing, but seeing trauma and seeing it in literal 4K is another. Eventually he gets hit with this RICO after multiple claims, multiple cases, multiple lawsuits, him trying to seemingly flee the country, running around, celebrate. That was a mess of a time. I know people don't really remember, but that was a whale of a time. But ultimately he gets...
Hey, bro, what happened to that nigga they say they thought they caught that looked like Diddy? What the fuck happened to him? What the hell? I forgot about that nigga. I wonder what happened to him.
Hit with this RICO case, and in this RICO case he's getting charged with conspiracy, trafficking, prostitution, all these other things like that. So with all that evidence up against him that people saw being depicted out in court, they were wondering how the hell could something like this happen or reach a verdict today where he is getting off with less than a slap on the wrist.
It goes on to say he was not guilty on both charges of trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion in connection with Ventura and Jane. Combs was accused of being the ringleader of an alleged enterprise that abused, threatened, and coerced women into prolonged drug-fueled sexual orgies with male prostitutes, which he called freak-offs, and then threatened them into silence. Combs has said that all of this was consensual, and that while his relationships sometimes involved domestic violence,
wow,
he wasn't engaging in trafficking. Combs' lawyer, Mark A., said Combs was simply part of the swinger lifestyle and that he vehemently denies the accusations made by the Southern District of New York.
Shouts out to friend of the show, AV to the 7th Power. She broke it down beautifully on her live stream as to what happened in real time from the perspective of a lawyer. I definitely recommend that you guys check it out, because over here we just here to make you laugh and giggle. We don't necessarily know all of the facts. I'm not going to claim to be some sort of expertise, but I do want to break down a little bit as to why he did not get hit with what a lot of people thought he could get hit with. People were on the timeline asking, how do you get hit with the prostitution, transportation of that and stuff like that, but not the trafficking? It's that simple coercion and force and money portion of it. And
I was just about to say, like, I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. He probably paid. You know, he got the bread. You know what I'm saying? He got the, you know what I'm saying? And he probably most likely paid for that shit. I'll keep it a buck. He you know Diddy got bread, so of course he probably plugged in with the government, some in the police station. You know what I'm saying, bro? Because I just feel like, and my homeboy was telling me this, he was like, bro, they couldn't really get him on nothing, you know what I'm saying? So they had to let him go or whatever. They let him go because the stuff they was getting him for, they couldn't get him for it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, but still though, 1,000 bottles of baby oil is not like suspect as fuck. I'm just saying, that's me personally. Like, I get it, and I'm saying like my homeboy told me like, the evidence they did have went missing, and so they just had to drop the case or some shit like that. And I'm like, bruh, of course it went missing. Duh, it went missing. Duh, the evidence went missing. Of course it did. And then he said everybody went on vacation, like 30 people that was supposed to testify went on vacation all at the same time. What the fuck? Like, that's not, it's weird as fuck. So I was like, bro, hey, he walking back here, he free roaming, no GTA, man.
That's the reason why he ultimately didn't get hit with those things. Now, I saw what I saw in the video from Cassie, but they were claiming that she took his phone and ran out, so that's what caused P. Diddy to, you know, go out there and be abusive to her in the hallway. And they acknowledged a bunch of abuse that was going on throughout the duration of their relationship. It's even weird to talk about this stuff, but ultimately none of that was linked to, you know, the sexual acts. The acts were free and willing by the participants is what they were saying. There are even people on the timeline saying that the prosecution made the mistake of, you know, trying to portray P. Diddy as some sort of freak ball.
It did. That's exactly what this shit was, bro. They weren't even like, he went through all this and made this shit a RICO. RICO, you doing that normally for like a whole criminal for real. Y'all really like, bro, ever since Diddy got his whole... Oh, bad, Chuck. Ever since Diddy got his whole situation going on, this shit been nothing but about him and being his ass being a freak ball, like he said, bro. His ass being a freaky nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't really been about him actually committing crimes. You know what I'm saying? So, I do agree with this. It was mostly probably just to embarrass his ass. You know what I'm saying? Lower his self-esteem. You know, niggas probably envy, jealous, whatever, bro. You know how it be. It is what it is. But I definitely think they was trying to embarrass his ass for sure.
General the whole time, not necessarily some.
Cause 1,000 bottles of baby oil is crazy, bruh. 1,000 bottles of baby oil is crazy. Like, have 1,000 bottles of Windex, you know what I'm saying, or some shit, but baby oil, like, damn. I understand maybe 10 bottles of baby oil, but 1,000, nigga? Like, what the fuck?
Sort of criminal organizers. If you remember in the Young Thug case, it was a conglomerate of people. There were 28 people, which makes sense for a RICO case. You know, it's supposed to be some sort of organization. There should be a lot of names and faces attached to this. So where are all these people?
Because here's the thing. In the Young Thug case, we had 28 people indicted. 28. So it wasn't just Thug. Thug was allegedly the kingpin. You know, I think in their opening argument, they said he was the leader of the pack or something like that, right? But here with Diddy, notice that these charges are against Diddy and Diddy alone, not Diddy and other people, not KK, the assistant, not, you know, like it's Diddy and his companies. Bad Boy, right?
Right.
I don't know if Revolt was listed, but it was just Diddy and his company. So when you have companies, those are entities.
I think instead of pursuing this angle that Diddy was some sort of freak ball and bringing somebody like a Cassie Ventura, who ultimately had to speak on her behalf, onto the stand, they should have definitely focused on the criminal acts and how they could link those things together. Not only because they possibly missed out on getting the conviction of somebody who a lot of people just would think is just evil. Like they understand the stories, the lore about P. Diddy. This is not some sort of secret. I'm not breaking any news right here, but they do think that he is evil. But also it would keep us from these nasty conversations about Cassie Ventura being some sort of complicit party in this. And look, if you watched the case and heard some of the things that Cassie said about, you know, sticking around, or the phone calls where she said she could have somebody packed up and stuff like that, you probably have a new perspective on Cassie as a whole. But two things are true. One, she is a victim. I mean, we've seen it on 4K closed circuit television. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Hey, man, Cassie may be a victim, but I don't think she, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. Nobody knows but them two. But I'm just saying, though, yeah, he could be a monster, but she could also be a monster. You know what I'm saying? Monsters can do the same shit to each other. That's like a narcissist with a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was a victim, though. That was completely wrong. What he did to her, you know, with the dragon and all that, completely wrong. But at the end of the day, she a victim, but also a suspect, in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care if she ended up taking his phone and running down the hallway. There's no way you put your hands on that type of woman. And two, mentally, everything is not right up there. I can't begin to imagine the mind state of somebody who had been put through some of the traumas and some of the situations and stuff that was described in this court case. So I'm not even gonna pretend. But I do know one thing. I think that this is going to set a nasty precedent for people that are involved in situations like this. Now, granted, I do think that a lot of times times, you know, when Tony Busby or the likes are attached to these lawsuits against celebrities that, you know, people should generally ignore them. Tony Busby is just out there to get clout and money, etc., especially because he's, you know, had a bunch of cases dismissed or whatever. But that does not mean that these uber powerful people do not take advantage of the women or the men or the children in their lives. We know that Hollywood is weird. We do not have to act as if it's not weird.
The reason why you got to question P. Diddy's lawyers is because these are things that they brought up. Now, mind you, it may be a way to get him off the greater charges in the conversation by openly admitting, yo, this is a violent man, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But was there any sort of criminal organization going on? No, not at all. That got him off the bigger charges. However, it's coming back to bite him in the butt now because he will have to sit in a prison cell because they are deeming him to be a violent man.
And so now when we're searching for this perfect victim all the time because Cassie kept trying to go back and she is a part of the stop. You people I can't take serious because you're not taking this thing serious. You're no different than the people who are doing the parlays for Diddy and putting money down to see what he gets charged with, or the people that are outside of the court making an absolute boondock skit fool of themselves while Diddy is being read his sentencing. Like, I don't even understand what these people are doing. Why don't they have jobs?
You can have these two items, they're legal, but if you put them together, you end up in a freako. So, remember I told y'all what, so look, you see this? If it don't slip, you must have quit. You must have quit.
Oh my goodness. Say that again.
As a grown ass man, why? What's up? Why? As a grown ass man, what is you doing that type of body movement with oil in your hand? Shut, bro. What is, I don't know. Like, I mean, to some people, I guess you could just look at it and be like, yeah, fuck it. It's just people in the world, you know what I'm saying? But like, seeing people do like shit, like, my nigga, why? Like, why? What goes on? Like, I really wonder what goes on in some people's head, bro. What is going on in your head, gang? It's just no way.
If it don't slip, you must have quit.
Black fatigue. Now, one thing that did come to mind when this happened, because some of us did think that this was a possibility beforehand, is that what happens to P. Diddy afterwards? We've seen situation after situation in which public figure that is extremely popular gets hit with some sort of criminal case where women, children, men, whatever are involved, and they are vulnerable and they are ultimately victims, whether it be proven on video or in the court hearings. And honestly, their public perception does not change. Now, we've seen stuff be altered and people have different thoughts and opinions and feelings on certain people, but I'm seeing a lot of people, whether they be commenters on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, whether it be the people outside the court, that are extremely jovial over the fact that P. Diddy, somebody who has admitted and acknowledged to doing things that are still bad, like I don't think that people think that domestic violence is a good thing, are just sitting there happy that he is free. Now, his public image, he can't just go out there and be his normal self again. I do know that to be a fact. Nobody.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You can't step back out there. Look, you know what I'm saying? You can't step out there the same way you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? My boy cannot step back out, boy. You can't step back out the same. Your ass gonna move different. Like, imagine some of the confrontations he's gonna have to go through, gang. Like, oof. Like, imagine now trying to get more business booming, business back booming, and right. The confrontation and the thoughts and judgment you're gonna get, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sitting here, you know, welcoming P. Diddy to the public parties of the events. He's not going to be at WNBA All-Star Weekend or Summer League with the other rappers and ball players. He's damn sure not going to be the next guest on a Kai Cenat stream, of course. Whether he gets bailed out today or tomorrow, that doesn't matter. It's cooked for that. But what does this mean for him, his public appearance, public image? Do we forget in a couple of weeks or a couple of months? Or do we take a stand as a community and say, hey, you know what? I don't like this. I'm not agreeing ring to any of this. This is messed up. And then also, what does this mean for future people that come out and attempt to speak about a powerful man? I don't think it's any secret Diddy is a powerful man, and there are already some people who are fearing for their lives in regards to him.
You already fear about reprisals against you just for speaking out. Would you be genuinely concerned about him coming after you? Is that one of the reasons you've left the country?
Well, here's the thing, only thing I fear is God and my mom. And I made a promise to my
God
mom
and
that,
my mom.
I'm not gonna revert to an old lifestyle. And I know if he walks, I'm gonna be target number one, which is fine. I'm used to that. It's kind of exciting for me.
Is that exciting, or is that slightly scary?
Oh no, it's definitely exciting, Pierce.
And it's not like he didn't get a good description or depiction of all the other jurors that were put out there. I mean, they have that information, so that is freely accessible. But even outside of them, there are other situations in which powerful men will be put on trial. The painting of the people involved in the case will be very, very bad, and then if they get to walk free because maybe incompetence by the court, or maybe there just wasn't the perfect victim in the situation. What does this mean for not only their health, safety, and well-being, but also the conversation about these people? I'm flabbergasted about this situation, but hey, it is what it is. I thought this man was freaky and wild and should have been put under the jail. The justice system did its big one on this one, though. That's crazy.
So I'm out here trying to live my life after the initial recording of the first portion of this P. Diddy video, when he got called back into the courtroom to see if he was getting out today, tomorrow, or sometime in the future. And the judge straight up denied.
Bail is denied. It says July 2nd, 2025. Bail is denied to Sean Combs by sitting conviction today on transportation for prostitution charges. Inner City Press live tweeting below week 7 book. Okay, U.S. v. Day 35 bail hearing after non-guilty on RICO and sex trafficking, 2 guilties on Mann Act. Inner City Press covers. Oh, this nigga not free roaming. He got denied bail. Damn, that's crazy. He not free roaming. Damn. I thought this man was free roaming. That's tough. Oh, me.
His bond. It was said that his bond was proposed to be $1 million. That was supposed to be co-signed by him and his family and his mom and stuff like that. Then also surrendering of the passport, only being able to fly to certain districts and the other pretrial conditions and stuff like that. The judge was like, absolutely not. The reasons why make a lot of sense, and it makes you question P. Diddy's lawyers and his tactics. So the judge cited that, he would have to prove essentially that he was not a risk or a burden for violence towards the community, and he hadn't. He cited the incidences, not just the Cassidy incident in the hotel that one time, but the multiple times of violence there, the multiple times of violence toward Miss Jane Doe, whoever she may be, the unknown person in this case, and just said, hey, this is not a guy who can do things the right way, the upstanding way, and ultimately may potentially give more harm to people out there in the community, so he's gonna have to stay in jail behind those bars. Again,
these niggas don't know how to try it, I'ma leave him there. It's Mr. Triple Cross, I'm about to leave him there. If I kill myself right now, I'll be the realest dead. If I kill myself right now, I'll be the realest.